All right, can you hear me? Good, good. Okay, goals and rewards. Now, I'm sure if I said, what are some tactics to come up with some good goals, you might pop off something like SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. I know we went over that for about, 4 weeks in Army class. I slept through about 3 of those weeks because it was the same thing after the first class. Here at the Citadel, we'll have a lot of goals. They might be academic goals. Everybody's always trying to get that Dean's List, the gold stars. You might be like me, just 3-0 and go. I'd be happy with that. You may even have goals to where you're trying to pass the PT test, you're trying to get better. Your goal might be to become Toastmasters, become a better public speaker. That's a great goal to have. But what about rewards? Rewards? Okay, we see a few rewards here and there. You get a couple extra overnights, weekends, around here and there. But I feel by and large, we miss a lot of the importance of a reward. If you look at Pavlovian science, it shows that every time you end an action with a reward, the action becomes better ingrained into your head or your brain. So you know that, hey, if I study, I make good grades, I get that weekend. I get to go have some fun. Or it could be a little bit more simple. If I study for 45 minutes tonight, then I can chill out, relax, do something fun. Maybe I'm a big reader. I'll usually read an interesting article for 10 minutes, then get back into the studying. So why is it that we forget about the rewards? One interesting advice. We won't count that. That wasn't very good. One interesting story I have about work and rewards is when I was in high school, I worked in a restaurant. And my goal was to buy a car. So I guess that is specific. It is measurable. You either have a car, you don't have a car. Was it attainable? I didn't know. That whole cash for clunkers thing was going on, so a lot of the junky cars that someone my age can afford were getting pulled off the road. Was it realistic? I don't know. Time-bound? Not really. So I was working for about 3 years. And senior year of high school was rolling around, and I was still riding the bus to school with all of the freshmen. All of them. The sophomores had cars. I lived in Mount Plastic, or Mount Pleasant, if you aren't local enough. They drove things like Camaros, Mom's old Mercedes. It was 4 years old. She couldn't drive that thing anymore. So I had finally saved up about $2,000, which is not a lot of money for a car. And one summer after coming back from some summer training I was doing over at the school for some JROTC stuff, I went and wrecked my mom's Buick Rendezvous. I was taking a left-hand turn off the highway, crossing 2 lanes of traffic, going on 17 South, and I thought I had yielded to all the cars, but this matte black Chevy truck comes zooming in, doing 65 and a 45. He was way down there. I'm like, oh yeah, I got plenty of time. This guy is not going to get me. I go driving along. I may be doing 15 miles an hour. He smokes the front end of my car. This thing is done. I will say, however, Chevy versus Buick, the Buick won. That car was it spun around 3 times, wrapped around a telephone pole. Amazingly enough, we were all right. Everybody got up and walked away. And of course, there I am sitting going, oh my gosh, I just wrecked my mom's car. My dad was 1 payment away from owning that car. He had one more $500 payment and the car was his. And I could just tell that he was standing there looking at the situation going, holy cow, all that work and no reward. And of course, I'm feeling so guilty. I'd saved up my $2,000. I was ready to write that check right there, give it over to Dad, be like, I don't deserve this. I wrecked your car. I messed things up for you. But being a gracious man, I don't know how he was able to do this, he let me keep the money. And so while he was driving around, he had finally found a car from my mom. It was a 2005 Honda Accord, white. Those are actually pretty nice cars. I didn't know that until she got one. And he was driving, and he just saw 1998 silver Mustang, $2,000. So he's in Monk's Corner. There's nobody on the road. So he pulls a quick UE, pulls right in. Suffice it to say, I was able to pay for the car up front in cash. The title is mine. The car is mine. Anybody here ever worked really hard for something and finally gotten it? Something tangible, maybe not something tangible, but have you ever gotten that? Toastmaster Kimberly, have you ever experienced that? It's a great feeling, isn't it? You can stand there and look at it and say, I own this. This is mine. So I want you to take that and remember that. That's what an award or reward can do for you. So the next time you're trying to work towards something, you may have a long-term goal that you're working towards. It might be graduation, it might be commissioning as an officer, it might be getting a nice job. Break it up into smaller sections. Make I don't know, you get an A on a test, you get a piece of candy or something. But use the reward system. I think it's something we could definitely all learn from. Thank you.